And we are live on the SideQuest. We are coming at you on a Wednesday afternoon. Like I said, we are eking out those days, one day extra each week. Eventually, it'll just be like every other week, if we're lucky. We were on Tuesday last week, then Monday before then, Sunday. We haven't done a Saturday show. I don't remember, but hey, what's up? SideQuesting. I'm Dali Dimofsky. Joining me over here is Erron Scratty Bones Kelly.
Hey, hi, what's up? Yeah, if you do a Saturday show, I can't come. Like seriously, it's D&D week or D&D night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice,
so
nice.
we would have to start at probably midnight my time to do a Saturday show.
Holy shit. Okay, so it's about 11 my time and like 7:30, 8 o'clock Jay's time.
Yeah. Night's still young for me.
Yeah, there you go. And this person down here is the one, the only, the double J. JJ.
It is the double J.
How's it going,
I'm
JJ?
doing great.
How we doing, guys? We all hitting the refresh button and getting banned by blocked by GameStop?
I just went on the I just went on this rant before we hit the start button. I'm going to do it again live.
Do it live.
And first part of our news is if anybody's watching Twitter right now, you're going to see a whole lot of people making fun of all this shit because Sony's out there being like, hey, it's not going to be a surprise when pre-orders go live, you guys. And then now pre-orders are live and everybody's losing their goddamn minds because nobody can get the pre-orders in. I was waiting I've got cash. I've got physical money that I was waiting.
I've got hard Canadian dollars.
I was specifically waiting for the prices to be revealed and a pre-order thing to be announced as upcoming so I could deposit the correct amount of money. And now I'm just sitting here with cash like an asshole.
Well,
how fucking dare they?
Best Buy Canada's taking pre-orders, but you don't have one open near you right now.
No, the nearest Best Buy to me is an hour's drive away, I think.
Oh.
I think. Unless it closed down in the 4 years since I've been in Halifax.
It's very possible.
So, hey, what's up? What's going on?
What's up, guys?
Hey. Video games, huh?
Video games. Should we, before we get into the PlayStation news, because that'll be the majority of the conversation. My ear's itchy. What have you guys been playing? I'll just talk briefly about what I've been playing, which is, so I got this new laptop. It's pretty hot. It's an MSI. It's in the other room. And it's VR ready.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. This is awesome.
That Quest 2, baby.
The Quest 2, maybe.
Don't buy that.
And, yeah, I'm going to get an $80 USB cord. No, it's VR ready. I'm super excited. And I've just been kind of testing some of the games that I have already on Steam and Epic Game Store on it. And hell yeah, it rips, dude. Woo!
What's the best thing you're running on that thing right now?
The best thing I'm running, let's see. I've started with like a lot of the indie stuff and working my way up, but Mortal Shell looks real good on that bad boy, I gotta say. After Sam's recommendation, I went and got it. So, and I think I even have Ooblets, but I haven't started that one up yet. But
did Erron ever get Ooblets? Did it ever work out for you?
Nope.
No. Oh, geez, you're just SOL on all kinds of stuff.
No. So you know what? Fuck it. There's an update to that story.
Oh, yeah. Let's follow up.
Yeah.
So my bank, which I signed up with, which is an online only bank, when I had to start paying my rent and bills online, was essentially when I signed up with this bank account. I just dealt exclusively in cash before then, because that's how that shit works when you live 20 years in the past. They just sent an email out today saying, hey, you know those Visa debit cards that everybody's had for the last 10 years that aren't a credit card but work like a credit card so you can shop online? We're doing those now too, so you should sign up for them. And I said, okay, because
deal.
I can't use prepaids anymore, so let's do it. So in 6 to 8 weeks, I can buy Ooblets.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting there. This is going to end up with a happy ending by the time.
Yeah, Ooblets is going to be out of early access, and
I'll own it by the time that the PS5 launches.
There, yeah, the one, yeah. Meanwhile, the GeForce 3080 is now officially sold out as well.
I'm waiting on the 3070 anyway.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are.
But apparently, the 3080, the scoop on the 3080 is that it's fucking awesome.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn
it's a huge power hog, but if you have a halfway decent PSU in your computer, it'll be fine. But yeah, it's just awesome. It just blows everything out of the water.
I'm gonna look at getting this kind of stuff for enclosures in my external enclosures for the laptop that I have now. So I can lose 20 to 30% of the power, but it'll work eventually. Yeah. It's still better than whatever I have now, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's time for me to. Once I get my refund for my Disney season pass, I can start leveraging that towards it.
At least you didn't have stock in Disney, that's for sure.
Are they still open?
Disney?
Disney.
Disneyland hasn't been open since March, and I got a season pass in February, so it's good times.
Oh boy!
Was it Disney World that opened despite the plague?
Yes,
or
Disney World's the one that's open.
How are they doing? Any plague spreading around there?
Supposedly really good. There's like they're not really tracking very many people catching it or contracting it there and stuff. So, but that's also. I don't trust a lot of those numbers.
Is Disney World the one that owns the town where they can make their own laws? Because maybe they just made it illegal to publish those numbers.
I mean, basically, yeah. They own that whole section. I mean, Disneyland has Anaheim in their back pocket, but it's not. But they don't have the same amount of control over the land as they do out in Florida.
So, how'd you feel about Mulan?
I never saw it.
You haven't watched it yet?
I did not spend the $30 to watch Mulan.
All right.
This is the second time they've released, or technically now a third time they've released a Chinese-focused movie that has screwed them in big time, because the original Mulan made the Chinese people very angry. Kundun, the Martin Scorsese movie, got all of their stuff banned from there, and now this one. So it's... good times. They're 3 for 3 over there.
3 for 3.
really struggling with that Chinese market. I heard that remake. To use a phrase that's quite common around here. I heard that movie was dog shit in the moonlight.
Yes.
Mulan.
The remake specifically.
That's what I've heard. So I can only imagine.
Did they get rid of the dragon?
Yes. They got rid of Eddie Murphy Dragon. Yes. And
Why?
they got rid of like the music. Like it's not a musical anymore either. So it's
right.
a completely different movie almost. But still mystical. Like it's got magic and stuff in it, but they don't have Eddie Murphy Dragon.
So it's less
it's gonna get Eddie Murphy. It's probably
less a Disney movie and more like closer to something like Crouching Tiger.
It's yes, with kind of less soul to it than Crouching Tiger.
Crouching Tiger, really hidden dragon, because there is
there it is. There's the title.
That's it.
So welcome to Disney Compendium episode.
Welcome to Disney Compendium. Hey, listen to that episode that I was on.
Hell yeah. That's
Go
a good
ahead.
episode.
I will never be on an episode because I don't think I've ever seen a Disney movie since I became an adult.
Jeez,
like
thanks, dude.
No, just because like that's when I moved out and I don't really watch movies. So sure. If
you're gonna watch a movie, you get to be a little more choosy.
Totally. Like if I go to
the
theater and my options are, whatever latest Marvel movies out, or like a really cool sounding action movie, or something like The Martian or Frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen is apparently a very good movie. I'm not gonna choose to see that when I've got all those other movies.
When John Wick is available to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like my tastes don't skew Disney. If I ever somehow have a kid, I'm sure that'll change. But
it's funny. Like I have a kid and she doesn't really watch a lot of Disney. She's more Netflix.
Yeah.
But I end up watching the Disney stuff.
You get like the Disney stuff, and you're like, "Come on, let's watch this." And she's like, "I'm bored. I'm gonna go play on my tablet." And then you just watch it by yourself.
Yeah, essentially. But here's the bad news. So I had bought The Martian, and I can't find it in any. And I bought the digital version as well. I got one of those. You get the digital version, and you get the Blu-ray. Don't have the digital version anymore, and it must have like gone out of. I don't know, with Apple or whatever company had it. It's no longer.
It depends, because there was like the consolidation a little bit ago when like
Some
My
kind of
Movies
piss.
Anywhere became a thing.
Yep.
There became this thing where like a couple of the other ones, like Ultraviolet and stuff, shut down. And so some of the
Yeah.
stuff that you claimed, the digital stuff, didn't make the transfer over. So there's a very real possibility that like licensing stuff, when these companies shut down, for the most part everything was okay, but nowadays there's a couple of things that just never made the jump, and it sucks. But
Martian is probably my favorite movie.
Martian
I
is
love that movie.
phenomenal. I want to get that to my daughter so she can watch it. But again,
I never saw the like extended cut that they put out.
Don't bother.
Okay.
all right, good.
It's like I mean it's fine. It's like 13 more minutes of footage, and it's fine. It doesn't detract from the movie. It's just
Yeah.
I saw that
I have
movie.
to rebuy The Martian. Apparently,
I saw that movie 7 or 8 times before that. I saw the extended cut.
yeah, I haven't seen the extended cut yet. But anyways, back to game talk.
Yeah,
I finally derailed the show into a movie show. I'm very happy.
Hey, what are you playing, Aaron?
So I played.
Oh shit! I found The Martian. Yes, under Movies Anywhere, not Apple TV. I'm so happy right now.
So
back to go ahead.
Video game.
I can't remember the name. What is the game that we were both playing that I'm fucking blanking on the name on?
Star Renegades.
Thank you. Yeah. So, for any watchers / listeners who heard me talk about how I bought that during the show last week, while Dali was talking about it, I played that to the point where I beat it once after a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
That game has maybe the most aggravating final boss I've ever fought ever.
We won't talk about that.
What?
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
No, I'm not going to spoil it.
A little bit of a spoiler. But.
I will say that upon beating the game... So, okay, when you're selecting your team, like when you've started a new game, it shows like your first 3 people, and then a bunch of question marks, and then it shows the main character's brother, but the brother's locked. And all of the
in like the first 3 minutes of the game, he gets sort of
it's like the establishing cutscene. He gets got, and then so he's a character you can select, but he's locked.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other characters are unlocked through a various mechanism in the game. To play him, you just have to beat the game. But the way that they take that, just like standard post game unlock, like you now you play as this, you can have him in your team. The way they turn that into a thing is really cool.
Yeah.
And also the most irritating thing ever.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. It's just I'll tell you about it if you want at the end, like once we're off, because I don't want to spoil anything live. But it's irritating. Anyway, so I played that. I've started playing. We have got a review code for As Far as the Eye, which is a fucking ridiculous and deceptively difficult game. It's a roguelike resource management game. Oh, God. You start off. The way it works is you start off, and you're essentially on this tiny little like hexagon map, like hexagon style map, and there's a couple of squares of it that you can just see, and then the rest of it you have to explore. And it's not a lot. It's like 15 hexagons diagonally is the size of these maps. Like it's not, and you can travel like 2 or 3 squares every turn, so it's not a lot. The premise is there's a map, and you're traveling along the map like spot to spot. And when you select the next spot, there's a list of resources that you have to gather and like deal with to have enough stuff to pick your whole little village up and move it. And so every map is dealing with like the challenge of procuring those resources on that map. But then on top of that, all your little workers consume food, and so you got to be balancing like every turn they eat a certain amount of food. You're harvesting a certain amount of food, so you got to constantly watch that. And then there's like environmental stuff that'll do damage to your buildings sometimes, or damage to your people sometimes, and they can die and you just lose. And then there's a turn limit. The story of the game is that the world floods, and the eye from the title is like the top of a mountain or something. And so when the flood recedes, like all these people from this mountain like spread out in different directions to go like gather resources and like live lives and grow up a little bit. And then when the world starts to flood again, they have to make this pilgrimage back to this mountain so they don't drown. And that's the game. So you're collecting resources on a map to move to the next spot, to get back to the eye. Mm-hmm. There's like a 5-level campaign. There might be more. I don't know because I have not beaten the third level of 5 yet. I can see what I have to do, and I keep getting within like an inch of doing it, and then my people tend to starve to death, which is frustrating. And there's like a free mode. There's like the traditional roguelike. Here's a map with a bunch of stuff, and you start right here, and you can go any of these directions, and there's all these different challenges that like to each spot you want to pick, and so you gotta plot out the best path and get to the end. And I didn't make it past the first level of that because it unlocks all the buildings at once, and I don't know what most of them do or how to utilize them because the campaign teaches you that, and I can't beat the third level of the campaign. It's nice though. It's sort of like it's almost scratching the Populous itch.
Ooh,
but not quite, but almost. It's close enough that I'm going, oh, yeah, okay. All right. But so I've been playing that. And then
Populous was so good back in the day.
Yeah, totally. I wish they'd make another one. That wasn't that with it.
Do we know anybody that makes a Populous game? Any developer?
Well, there was
was it Molyneux? Was he Populous?
Yeah, that was him. But then there was Ubisoft, one of their little indie studios, I think, made From Dust, which was almost Populous.
Oh,
which was almost Populous, but just not quite. That it was almost disconcerting that how bad that game was.
Yeah.
And this game isn't trying to be that, so it's not as egregious that it isn't. Whereas with From Dust, I was very irritated by that game. I will either write something about this or maybe try and produce a video, something or other about this.
Ooh.
Once I've beaten it, and I can talk more fully about it. The other thing I wanted to mention, just very quickly, you remember some weeks ago I mentioned I was playing this little game that came out in 2018 called Among Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mentioned. So we played that game. Yeah, I assume you guys had never heard of it.
No,
because it was this tiny nothing game.
Yeah.
I played this with my D&D group. We had a good night, and then we all kind of put it aside and said, "All right, that was fun. We'll probably never go back to this again." And now every fucking streamer on the planet is playing this game that came out in 2018.
Yeah, it's become this weird.
It's a new
Second
Fall
Life.
Guys.
Yeah, it just popped back up. Fall Guys and Among Us. They're like
it's
hottest things on Twitch right now.
I was playing like what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's what I've been playing. I play a little more PGA. I've been hitting the golf ball.
God, initial release date June 15th, 2018.
Yeah.
And then the full release was in November of 2018.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now, just now, it's become like,
Yeah.
oh, this video game exists. Let's play it.
I remember getting like PR for this. Like, you guys want to try this game? And I'm like, I'd love to, but we have no time and no people.
And we also don't have 6 to 10 people on staff. Probably.
Exactly. That are but the one thing, $5, hell yeah.
The one thing I'll say about that game is that it's $5 on PC or it's free on mobile.
Oh, is it on mobile?
Yeah, it's just and it's crossplay. It's free on mobile. It's just in between rounds they hit you with an ad because it's free. But I think that probably has something to do with how why it's so popular because it's just like a streamer owns it and goes, hey, I need 9 people to play this with me. Just get it on your phone.
All it takes is the one streamer that has the
takes
average
is a ninja.
audience of a few thousand.
Sure.
So, yeah.
But yeah, that's what's up.
All right, JJ, what have you been playing, dude?
Tony Hawk, a lot of Tony Hawk.
Of course. We're in a very sweet spot of games right now. Like last week, this week, there's some good releases, and then we're going through. We go through like a tiny little bit of a lull until like November, and then everything comes out in November.
Yeah. I finished the main campaign of Avengers a couple of days ago.
Can I can I ask you something about that game?
Avengers, yeah.
And yeah, and it's just about the very beginning, so
Okay.
like we don't have to worry about huge spoilers.
Okay.
So that game opens up at like the convention or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it get less earnest? Because I don't think I can handle that.
What do you mean? Like
She's what, 9 or something, like 12 maybe.
she's like a teenager, yeah.
Yeah, she's like a young teenager, and she's just so
She's so excited. Well, that's
she's happy and excited, and she's just like so nice, and like she's running into the Avengers, and like they've read her thing, and like they're being nice to her and having conversations, and she's so, and I'm trying to get through it, and I'm just like, I'm so old and jaded and bitter that I can't take it.
Well, I mean, given the story pretty much is that she becomes inhuman at that convention, so she still is a fangirl throughout the game, but there's also her trying to stop the Inhumans from being genocided off the planet. So it gets less earnest, but she is always a bit of a fangirl. Like
that's her.
Yeah,
like
that's her personality. That's in the comics.
But
that's what she's like, and that's what she's. But yeah, it gets toned down after that because the end of that whole the end of that whole segment is a horrible disaster. So
yeah, I might have to skip to the end of that because like I'm just watching.
I was really hoping with the beta like it would remember your progress and I wouldn't have to go through that again because it's kind of well, the only difference is you actually get to sort of explore the convention area, but for the most part, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's a pretty straightforward like campaign. The weird thing that happens is the side missions, you can do them kind of out of sequence, so you will be like, but they have story elements that play out in some of these side missions. So when you're playing stuff, it's like, wait, you're supposed to like be defeated, and yet you're now having to like communicate with this character. This character's like harassing you or something, or you've just met this character and now it's like, oh, we're best of buddies and we're already on a team together. It's like there's little things that lack some of the polish you would expect from a big release like this, but I really enjoy it for the most part. It's very empty. Like once the campaign's over, everything's just sort of the same maps, just kind of different setups with different, like win conditions. Like sometimes it's like, you got to hold down this spot on the map or don't lose control, or hold down multiple spots of the map, or defeat all the enemies, or just investigate and stuff. And that's basically all it is. That's all the multiplayer stuff is, over and over and over again. But it plays fun. All the characters are different enough to be enjoyable. The grinding, if you want to get anything, if you want to get any new gear, the grinding is fucking brutal.
Oh, really?
Without paying a dime. Like, I have unlocked, like...
microtransactions, baby.
Yeah, I have unlocked virtually no costumes just through playing the game, outside of the ones that happened through the course of the game, or stuff like that. So it's...
You guys remember what it was like back in the day? When, if you just played a game, you would get all the stuff that you paid for?
Yeah. The battle passes for every character are just grindy as hell, because I don't really know exactly what I'm supposed to be completing to get like the credits necessary to advance the battle pass thing for each character. But like I mean I know what some of them are. Like you see, like there's the daily and like monthly objectives and weekly objectives and stuff. But other than that, it just seems like you're just play everything. You'll get there eventually. So.
When they add, like they're going to be adding like characters to the game, but is that just to like the multiplayer?
It's the way it plays out. Yes, I mean so after you beat the campaign, there's two menu options. There's campaign and Avengers Initiative, and Avengers Initiative is the sort of quote unquote multiplayer section, but it's like all of the stuff that you didn't do in the campaign sort of, but you can access that part immediately too. You can it just shows you the final cutscene basically. Like it spoils the game if you just go to the
nice
Avengers Initiative when you go in there, which is interesting. An interesting way of doing that, but okay. But it seems like you get like a war table, and it's just you got this 3D map that you're kind of choosing your missions, and that's just how you select everything, whether it's the campaign or a side mission. So I'm going to assume when they bring in the character, because they did say that they're going to have their own quest lines. And storylines, because every character has this thing called like an iconic story or iconic quest, which is just sort of, there is sort of bare bones storytelling going on. Like Thor is like, oh, you go up to the computer and it's like, it's the Thor iconic quest line. And the first mission is like, there's this voice that's coming from like one of the AIM places that sounds exactly like Thor. And so now you're investigating that. You're just going to complete this quest line until you get to the end of it. And it's not much, except that mission's great because I've seen it happen on my game and everyone else's game, where it's like, he goes to the computer and they say like, oh, it's just a fake Thor or whatever. Yeah, well, listen to this. And Thor is listening, and you're supposed to be hearing Thor talking, but there's no sound coming out. But Thor is still reacting to it like, oh, that's my voice. And like, nothing's happening. So it's just, this mission is bugged to hell for some reason. Geez. At least that trailer is. But there's
one thing I know.
But I feel like that's what's when they introduce new characters, is it's going to be like, you're going to have these kinds of quest lines, and at least they're free, and it's $10 for the battle pass to go with them. But I don't know how much meat will be on the bones of the quest lines. So
there was one thing I noticed about that game that kind of made me laugh.
Yeah.
If you play that game with subtitles on, I play everything with subtitles on.
Yeah.
If you play that game with subtitles on, they specifically describe like the VOs like grunts, like their efforts, but they describe them in the technical. So it's like there's like a point very early on in the campaign when Kamala is like climbing through a ravine basically, and the scene opens up and she's scooted down to sit on the edge of a cliff to jump off. But then it described like the subtitle that comes up is Kamala sits on the edge of the cliff for a moment to take a relaxing breath, and then it says Kamala gives a grunt of effort. And it's like, well, number one, she doesn't sit down because she doesn't stop moving. She's just gone. But I was like, that's such a very weird and technical way to describe that in the subtitles. I don't. And they do it the whole way through.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird, like, okay, so one of the like earliest like things that I unlocked was like Captain America's like his like World War II costume.
It's a good one.
Yeah, with like the motorcycle helmet, and, like the pleated coat and everything, and leather jacket and stuff. And it's designed in such a way so like the helmet has like a chin strap, and whenever he's talking in a cutscene, it screws up his face. So it's like he has like Bell's palsy or something. So it's like mouth is trying to be pushed to the side with the
thing.
So
chin strap's
so it's like the chin strap has its own physics that aren't moving with the thing. So all the cutscenes where he's talking, fucked to hell. And it's the weirdest thing, and I hate it, but I like the costume, and there's the final costume you unlock also has a helmet with a chin strap, but it doesn't interact that same way with his face. So I don't know what they did. I don't know what one was turned into a zero, but
Is Tony's first playable costume available to play later on in the game? Like when you meet him in the game?
Yes.
That's Kamala. That's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah. When you first get Tony Stark, you get the stupidest costume with him. It's literally him with like a motorcycle helmet.
A really stupid motorcycle helmet.
Yeah, just gauntlets on, like, just bare bones, like exoskeleton gauntlets and boots that have the repulsors, and like a white t-shirt and jeans, and that's your initial introduction to Tony Stark in this game.
It's
like the stupidest thing.
Like half a motorcycle helmet, but it's been modified with a flight visor.
Yeah, with a flight visor. It's there. You can use it at any time, and I'm like, I never want to touch that. It's like with Captain America. Spoilers. Sorry, Captain America is not dead.
Duh. Oh, what? You mean
Yeah.
everything we saw in those trailers is
Yeah.
is correct? Yeah.
Yeah. And when you first get Captain America and you start playing as him, it's just him in his underpants.
Sweet. So it's true to life with Chris Evans from this week,
Yeah.
right?
No, because he's wearing underpants.
He's wearing underpants. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
But no, I like that game. It's definitely like not in a top 10 like game of the year situation, but I like it. I'll keep playing it because I just kind of like that. It's like the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing where like all of the side missions are kind of pointless. I just like doing them.
You have it on
watch...
PS4 or what are you playing on?
Yes, PS4 Pro.
So you have the Spider-Man?
No, just a regular old PS4 Pro. I tried to get
I mean the Spider-Man is added
Oh yeah,
character.
he's coming. I don't know when. I think the next.
They didn't say when he's. I
know the next character is Kate Bishop, like in next month. So
Junior Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye 2?
No, it's just Hawkeye in the game. She's just Hawkeye.
Is it straight up just Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Because is Hawkeye? Is Clint Barton in the game?
Yes, he's going to become a playable. He's after Kate. And so, because they had the big reveal of him, and everyone hated him because it's just like a generic white bald guy.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like you could have easily just made the Matt Fraction Hawkeye, and everyone would have been thrilled as hell. But
they went more Ultimate Hawkeye with him than they did. Yeah,
yes. At least he doesn't have that weird like, the balaclava or something like that he had in the Ultimate thing. But yeah, it's a bad design. Most of the designs are like Tony's design isn't great. Like Steve Rogers' design is obviously the worst of them.
Yeah,
but you don't see his face a lot, so it's okay.
I think excluding Kamala because she's pretty damn on point.
Yeah, the Kamala's like almost 1-to-1 with the comics.
Yeah, and her voice actor nails it.
Yes,
I think the best of the lot is Bruce Banner.
Bruce is great. Their relationship and throughout the game is fantastic. Yeah, they are. It really is a Hulk. Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel.
I had to look up who voiced Tony Stark because I was like, is that Matt Mercer? No, it's not. It's Nolan North.
It's Nolan North. It's the same 5 people voice the same characters in every video game, and they're all present in Avengers. So yeah. One thing I'll say.
I remember that sort of was it the war table they had that one time where they announced all the check out all the voice actors we have and like. Oh, that's the same folks and everything.
Oh, Troy Baker and Nolan North, huh? Cool. Who'd have guessed?
Who'd have guessed they're working together on a project?
They got Laura Bailey. Cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, Black Widow is the worst design out of the entire group, which it's like not great at all. I think the one thing I would say that bothers me and bums me out the most about the game is that there aren't very many villains in it. Like there are 3 villains in the game. Yeah. You have Abomination, you have Taskmaster, and you have MODOK. Those are your 3 villains. That's all you get in the game. Everything else is just grunts and goons.
Robots.
Robots. And it's unclear if some of the AIM soldiers are humans or also robots sometimes.
Regardless of whether or not they're robots, they're wearing full body suits and goggles. Yeah. So they might as well be robots.
They're as good as robots, and that's just like I expect that from AIM, so it's fine. But yeah, I was hoping for like more villains, but the campaign's not long enough to really flesh any of that out, so one could only hope that I don't know what the roadmap looks like for this game, but one would hope that there's more villains showing up at some point, that there will be some sort of big expansion that takes you to some other place on the map. Maybe you go to Asgard or Wakanda or something. I would hope Wakanda opens up, like with Black Panther coming at some point. Apparently they were going to announce him, but then Chadwick Boseman died, and they're like, well, we can't just do that right now. So.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's good. But again, not top 10 of the year by a long shot. I wanted it to. I wanted it to be a great game, and but...
If we were doing top 10 lists at the end of the year of games that could serve as like comic universe reboots, this would be fine. This would be this would be somewhere on the list.
Yeah.
There you go. It'll be somewhere on the list.
It theoretically should have some staying power. I feel like after everything's said and done and we move into the next things and more content's coming out and stuff, it's going to be a real Destiny situation. It's gonna live or die based off of what comes next, and hopefully they've got something planned other than just another character with its own weird quest line. So, yeah. But there's definitely end game stuff going on. There's definitely like a story that they have planned, because like the way it ends and some of the stuff that happens and the way like there is like storyline stuff that's happening in the multiplayer section, the Adventures Initiative stuff that's sort of setting up future stuff, because like there's certain characters that that you saw once that they keep mentioning that haven't returned yet or whatever. So there's clearly a plan for more like story to be told, and so I hope that the lore sort of fleshes itself out in next year or whatever. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing. Right. Those two things.
Very good. Well, that's games. That's what we've been playing. But what we might be playing, if any of our stupid pre-orders go through,
let's check
is video games from next gen consoles.
And we have the biggest news in the world of video games right here, right now. Here it is. Beat Saber multiplayer is coming.
Yeah, was that. Wait, no, actually, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, that is pretty awesome.
Beat Saber multiplayer is coming on October 13th.
How does multiplayer work for Beat Saber?
It looks like. So it's just a tweet basically, and
they just tweeted it out.
And what they're showing is it looks like you're playing your own track, and it's split. It like the screen or the viewer screen is split into 5 sections. So there's 5 different players, and they're all playing their own track. So I assume it's just a score competition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which fair enough.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways you can do multiplayer in that game.
Yeah, as I say, because it already has leaderboards. So like, what's the I guess making it a direct competition in real time is
the interesting thing to me. The interesting thing to me about that is like there are a lot of Beat Saber is one of those games that works with full body tracking. So there are a lot of YouTubers that do like full body tracking videos. There's one that I watch occasionally that is essentially like a dancer.
Oh,
so like every time they upload a video, it's a dance routine while they're essentially perfecting these songs, which I think is very cool. And so what I'm picturing right now, because these YouTubers have started doing collaboration videos.
Oh wow!
Already. Which is just editing, but I'm picturing something like that. And like how much easier those are now if you could have, pick 5 of these people and have them all play in a match. And I bet that would be very cool to watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's going to be tricky to get it working on PSVR.
Yeah.
So is it, are they still planning on it on PSVR? Or, this came out because of the Oculus Quest stuff.
They have a follow-up tweet to their announcement that specifically addressed this. Dear PSVR players, we are doing everything we can to make sure we release multiplayer simultaneously on all platforms on October 13th, but there might be a delay with the PS4 version. Please bear with us and check our social media regularly for new updates about PSVR.
It'll work on the PS5.
So they're trying.
Yeah, I've got that on PSVR and Quest, and the Quest way is the most entertaining way of playing that game.
The Quest way is the best way.
Yeah, that popped into my head, and I said, I'm not going to say that, but then you just went and did it. So
I just went and tweeted it out.
Yeah. But you know Zach is going to think we're talking about him.
Of course, sure. Always, yeah. The Quest way is not that. No,
yeah. But the 360 stuff is too exhausting for me. I can't play Beat Saber that way with like the 360 degree functionality. But yeah, I will play more Beat Saber. I don't know if I could. I don't think I could get anybody to play multiplayer Beat Saber with me. Period. So. Especially since nobody is going to be signing into Oculus Quest anymore. Since
apparently not, yeah.
You can sign on Facebook. Even though they just announced a $300 better version.
Better.
Well,
better.
The hardware's better.
The hardware's better, but the Facebook integration makes that no bueno.
Yeah. My Facebook account literally just exists as a link to my Instagram account, so I don't give a shit. I don't care anymore. Whatever. They're getting nothing from me, and they're not.
Speaking of big video game news and seamless transitions, GameStop is closing like 200 more stores.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's funny because they said like there was a rumor that they were going to do 400 to 440, and then this is on top of that.
Yeah. So this is I've got the article on CNN pulled up. Mm-hmm. This is from their business section. It says GameStop is closing about 100 more stores than it originally planned, with the struggling retailer warning of more closures next year. The company said in Wednesday's earnings call that between 400 and 450 stores globally will close this year, which is more than the 320 stores GameStop originally said in March that it was planning to shutter. The increase underscores how badly retailers are performing in the pandemic as shoppers shift their habits online.
Yeah, GameStop was already struggling well before the pandemic hit, so it's
yeah.
So I can't. Yeah, it certainly didn't help, but you can't blame it either. So
GameStop currently has 5,122 stores worldwide, 600 fewer than it did last year.
There is this section.
That's still a lot, surprisingly.
There's this section where I live in my neighborhood, not my neighborhood, my town, that where if you're in like the parking lot, there's a GameStop here. And then just literally on the backside of this building, but like the opposite building, is another GameStop. Yeah. So it's just like, how did this happen? How did you allow this situation to happen? Like, you're already not exactly on firm ground, and you've just allowed this, and it's been like that for years. You'd think one would shut down by now, but no.
That's in our area. It's the same way because we have 1, 2, 3, it's not like four, at least 3 GameStops within a mile radius of each other.
It's one thing when there's like, oh, there's one in the mall and there's one like in the neighborhood, like the surrounding area of the mall. But like, when it's just like standalone stores, like kitty corner from one another. It's like whenever you see a Starbucks situation like that too. It's like, what are we doing? How does this work? What's the last thing anyone bought at GameStop?
I bought Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Like when it was new? Or...
Yeah, on release day. Because it only came out on disc, and I very much wanted to play that game.
I think I bought a like an advent calendar last year at GameStop.
If you buy a Final Fantasy VII advent calendar, is it an advent?
Oh,
no, don't say it. Advent.
No. Give it to your advent children.
Don't say it, Dali.
But yeah, I don't know.
Man,
but like, we know what's going on with like these systems. If the digital versions sell better, that's going to be shit for GameStop.
So this, I don't technically have this up as a news story, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. One of the pieces that I have up that I'll circle back to is on Reddit. There's a mega thread of all the PlayStation 5 announcements, which just makes them all easy to track. I got sucked into a conversation in that thread, because somebody said with all of the games that were announced, which we'll run through in a minute, are launching $10 more expensive.
Yeah.
And somebody said $10 price hike means games are going to cost $90 in Canada. Xbox and Game Pass getting games at launch looks so much better for a consumer.
Oh, God, yeah.
Somebody said, don't Canadian provinces have higher minimum wages than U.S. states? So I went through and I said, well, it depends on the province and the state and the exchange rate, and then it still doesn't make sense. My example was New York has a minimum wage of $11.80. My province, Nova Scotia, has a minimum wage of $12.55, but that's American and Canadian. Yeah. $11.80 US is $15.55 Canadian. So flip it around. Our minimum wage is $9.53 American. And then I pointed out that New York City, as I understand, their sales tax apparently sales tax is by county down there.
Yeah, it's the same here too.
Here it's provincial. So so Nova Scotia has a sales tax of 15%. Wherever you go in Nova Scotia, that's our sales tax. New York City, I guess, has a sales tax of 4.5%. So their new launch game cost is $70. which means 4.5% sales tax. Their game would cost $73.15.
Yeah.
So they would have to work at New York State's minimum wage for 7 hours to buy that game. That's a work shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's still expensive. Games are expensive. They're a luxury, but it's still a single day of work. Nova Scotia sales tax is 15%. So our $90 game, because our games already cost $80, after our sales tax brings it to $103.50.
Wow.
When you figure out like what that would be in American with our minimum wage adjusted, it would take 9 hours to afford that same game. So that's a full work shift plus the next work shift. So it's fucked.
Yeah.
Like how did we're just getting dinged for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
So you can't get ooblets.
Exactly. If the American price went up $10 and the Canadian price stayed at $80, it would be the same amount of work hours to buy the same game, which just makes sense to me. But I'm not an economist. But anyway, so this conversation was going on. Somebody pointed out that if this is just happening with the launch games and the rest of the games go back to the current standard price of $70, it makes sense to get the digital console because we're already paying that standard price. You might as well just buy them digitally because that's the way content goes. Somebody else pointed out, if the games are now $10 more expensive, it could be a resurgence in secondhand games because you just buy the console, you just buy the disc console, and then you just get the games cheaper secondhand.
Yeah.
So now I'm interested to see which way that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll get to that in a second. One of the stories we have going on, but I'm getting the disc version. That's the one I pre-ordered on Walmart. If Walmart ever lives up to its deal,
sure.
But so and I got it for partly for that reason is because I still buy games, and if they're disc based, I will trade them. I will. Oh, you got to be kidding me! Now my card is empty. Oh, son of a.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what happens when I keep clicking shop. As I told people earlier, I bought it from Walmart. I have confidence in Walmart having it, so I'm trying to back up with Best Buy. Best Buy is my go-to. But anyways, yeah. So I buy these because I know that I'll get, even if I get like $15-$20 for a game a year later, 6, 7 months, 8 months later after I've played it. That's that way I'm only spending $40 for a game. And a lot of times I'll buy them in store. They drop to like 6, 7, 8, 15, $20 really quickly sometimes in crazy sales, faster than they do digitally. So that's why I buy the disc version.
So here's the insane part. Here's the most ridiculous part about this whole thing. I was going to get, or I'm sure I will eventually, whichever console I get, I was originally going to get the disc version just because occasionally there's a game I probably want to get. And then I was thinking about that this whole used game argument, given the new prices, at least for the prices announced from the Sony thing today. I have a PS4 Pro, and I think I've bought 3 games for myself. Everything else has been review games. I could just get the digital one; it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like if I bought a shitload of games, it would make sense to like try and haggle down for secondhand copies and stuff. But I wouldn't save the money. I'd say the money I'd save getting the cheaper console is not going to equal the money I'd save getting used games if I only buy myself 3 games. If everything else is just essentially for work purposes, then I might as well just get the digital one, I guess.
It's I forget who was posted. Speaking of which, someone I think it was Ben something or other. Somebody posted that they would, as a reviewer, they used to get consoles all the time to review from Nintendo, Sony, Sega, whatever. And they said this is their first time going through a console launch where they have to pay and and get try to wait in line, pre-order, all that kind of stuff. And they're freaking out. They're like, how the hell do you people do this?
Yeah. This
Well,
one's
it's like, well, yeah, this is why when you review consoles, you got in a weird way. I mean, yeah, you're reviewing the product, but hold on, it's a lot of people can't get this product.
this one's egregiously bad. Like this PS5 thing is just
This is horrible.
This is exceptionally
Why don't
bad.
you go over this,
Okay.
the launch
Let's hit
details
it.
here.
Let's hit it.
Let's hit it.
So the PS5 had an event where they released a bunch of information. We'll start off. They announced their price points are $399 USD for the digital edition, so $100 more than the Xbox digital edition. $499 USD for the physical edition.
I was right.
Yep, I was $200 off the mark there.
Way off. I finally bested you. Finally
Got one over on me. The release date is November 12th in America, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea, and then November 19th everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Xboxes are on November 10th.
Yeah, it's like 2 days before.
Yeah. And then flip over here because I'm not going to go through the hardware. The information on the hardware is all available now. You can find very detailed specs on it if you look online. But the thing everybody cares about,
there's 2 USB 3 out inputs in the back.
Yep. So now you can plug in your Kinect.
Well, PSVR just uses so many stupid bullshits that it's
So they announced Final Fantasy 16 from the team that brought you Final Fantasy 14.
Hell yeah!
So that's one to Quest.
Yep.
That was his guess forever ago.
What's the name of that studio? It's like Development Team.
Creative Team 3.
Creative Team 3. That's Yoshida's joint. I completely forgot that was among our staff predictions and forgot that there was any rumor about it. And then I watched that trailer and I saw Final Fantasy 16's version of Shiva. And I said, that's just the character from Final Fantasy 14.
So like, that's version of Shiva. Yeah.
That's the 14 version. Yeah. What's up?
I kind of wonder if they legit just kind of grabbed a bunch of assets from current Final Fantasy 14
and slapped it together. Yeah, maybe.
Slapped it together. Said this game's coming. We don't really have a lot of the stuff figured out, but it's coming eventually.
They showed off Spider-Man Miles Morales. Mm-hmm. Gave a little bit of information. It's set 1 year after Spider-Man PS4. It's launching with the console, so that'll be November 12th. Mm-hmm. They revealed Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, baby.
So
timing.
I just want to stay on that just a little bit. So Hogwarts Legacy is the game that keeps cropping up in rumors. Yeah. Back when the rumors about Warner Brothers selling, everybody said, "What does that mean for What does that mean for the Harry Potter game?" This is that game. This is the game that was announced. A lot of the people that talk to me about game stuff. They're like, "Hey, what does this mean? Like, what do I have to do? You know, et cetera, et cetera." People that aren't in the industry but play video games, they're all really excited about this game.
It's so weird, and we know it's not going to be good.
No, I know. I'm going to quickly pull up a Steam conversation that popped up out of nowhere 3 hours ago, if I can find it. Here it is. So I got this a couple hours ago, just out of nowhere. No introduction, no greeting. It said, what do you think the chances of the new HP game being moddable are? I said, probably not built for it, but I bet there will be mods because that's how that works. I'm sure it'll start with, texture mods or whatever and go from there, maybe character model replacements. And they said, kind of a shame at face value. It definitely has the possibility to be the Skyrim of the 2020s. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you watch that trailer?
No, I
maybe in visual quality.
I definitely have also had people very excited. Like, I can't wait. That Harry Potter game looks great. And I'm like, really? Looks great, huh?
The problem is I'm going to play it, and I'm going to be very unhappy about it, but I'm going to play it.
My experience with Harry Potter is only 2 things. It's the first movie and the theme park at Universal Studios Florida. Those are my only experiences.
You went to that theme park
stuff. What?
That's pretty good.
Did you get
a butterbeer? Great theme park.
Did you get a butterbeer?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How was it?
Get about it?
It's delicious. It was fantastic.
I'm in Canada. I don't get any of that stuff. They showed off Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah.
That's
Cool. There you go.
Fine.
you want a Call of Duty game? There's your Call of Duty game.
The game that we've already seen.
The alpha will be available on Friday.
Yeah.
So you get your Call of Duty on, I guess. They showed off Resident Evil 8. Release date 2021.
Yeah,
A slightly newer trailer, I guess.
Yeah. So it's the second.
Okay. It had that guy at the end was like, if you just window shopping, that's fine. Like,
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
supposed to be the
The shopping bureau, the merchant,
Maybe.
the
yeah.
merchant guy?
Sounds
Is that
like
their
it.
version of what are you buying?
What are you buying?
What
Yeah.
are you buying? You just window shopping there, Sonny?
Yeah.
I hope that it's a different guy, but it's like his cousin or something.
Yeah, like,
They established that the merchants are all like
like Pokemon, like all
Yeah.
the nurse
Yes.
joys are exactly they're just related.
they showed off another gameplay trailer for Deathloop.
Okay.
That looks cool, but I will never play it or care about
Yeah,
it.
likely here too. Yep.
Yeah.
That's coming 2021, halfway through 2021, Q2. So that'll be what the Q2 is. What, summer?
Yeah.
No, it's
no.
like
March through June is Q1 because it's the
yeah,
financial.
so April,
years.
May, June. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They showed off they announced that Devil May Cry 5 is getting a special edition.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. Another gameplay trailer for the new Oddworld game.
I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic about that. I do like the old school Oddworlds.
Yeah,
but,
I hope it's good.
I want it to be good. My soul wants it to be good, but you never know with that stuff. Like,
Speaking of games that I will never play because I'm a giant coward, they showed off just a quick teaser for Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
yeah, that was a kind of a cool trailer.
It was a cool trailer for a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
I like those games, but I just like they're not like my favorites. I do like a good jump scare.
No, thank you.
I haven't
I like
played the
jump
VR
scares,
thing yet, so
Yeah, fuck everything about what you just said. Nope.
yeah. Resident Evil 7 really gave me long-standing trauma in VR. That game.
Yeah, that initial VR section is when you're in that, getting chased by homeboy.
I don't know what that new Five Nights at Freddy's is. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
I'm sure more will come out about that. I don't think it has a release date.
I think it said like 2021 or something, but
Something like that.
Scott's able to just pump those things out at like an ungodly speed when he wants to. So
Well, his history as a developer is incredible because he was just banging out like games almost on a weekly basis before Five Nights.
Yeah, because he started off like he had like the religious stuff. Like he did like a cartoon. Yeah. He did like a cartoon by himself and a game adaptation of the cartoon at the same time, and
and then he did the
Beaver game.
Which is what prompted Five Nights.
Yeah, same like character aesthetic. Yeah.
I'm gonna skip one for a second. Fortnite's gonna be on PS5. It'll be available at launch. That surprises nobody. PlayStation Plus collection. A bunch of the greatest PS4 games of all time, all free at launch of the PS5 for PS Plus members.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
I mean, like, yeah, they need a Game Pass alternative, and like, and that seems like that's the step in the right direction.
So I don't know if this is a true Game Pass or what.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like, an ambassador program.
It does. It's like here's your Game Boy Advance games.
Here's all the games that you can't get, or that here are some games. Since we're not going to have any new games, there's not going to be a lot of stuff pumping out around this time. Here's some old PS4 games
here's a bunch of things that we already put out. Like some of them were either already free on PlayStation Plus at some point, or have been like $5 that you already have in your account.
And so I went through that list, and I'm looking at it right now.
Want me to run through them? Or do you want to run through them?
You can run through them.
I'll run through them quick, and then you can hit on the ones you want.
I have the full list up on SideQuesting.com.
On SideQuesting.com. So the list of games that are being included with this is God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 15, Mortal Kombat X, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Battlefield 1, Infamous Second Son, which is an interesting inclusion, Batman Arkham Knight, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. I think that's the full list.
That seems like that's the full
That,
list.
yeah, yep, yep.
That's-
So I looked through that, and those are just the ones in the video. So who knows if there's any
Sure.
more beyond that, right? There'll probably be like Five Nights at Freddy's at 1 through 3. I have I after these were announced, ran into my other room and went through my discs, my actual game cases. I'm like, oh, Arkham Knight. I have a case with that game on there. I have Last Guardian unopened. I have. As I hit this button, I had a whole bunch of these games in cases, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't. I've never opened some of these, and they're part of that Game Pass thing. I'm like, why don't I just like freaking just get this digital version of the PS5? Because if all these come as part of that PS5, then I should be. Why bother buying the disc? Why bother keeping these along? Just sell them. So that's the point.
I wonder what the deal is with like Mortal Kombat X, because clearly that game costs nothing these days, because it's like it's on Game Pass.
Probably why.
It with this, and it's like it's a great game, but also like there's a new version out and nobody plays it, so you're just gonna be.
I'm gonna reckon that.
Persona 5's a cool one to include.
That's a cool one. I'm actually going to reckon that we're going to get Mortal Kombat 11 onto the next gen consoles as like some special version. We just haven't heard that announced yet.
Well, because they just announced, or they haven't announced. They teased Injustice 3.
Yeah.
So you would think the stopgap would be like, here's the deluxe edition, like the Game of the Year edition again.
Again, the Aftermath Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, of next gen.
They'll call it like they'll call it like the Universal Restart Edition or something.
There you go.
Yeah, and then you get Injustice 3 featuring Dr. Manhattan or
something like that.
I will let you guys know right now though. For this is breaking news. I have made it to the next page in the Best Buy cart process. So I'm literally just trying to hit the place your order button over and over again.
Yeah, I'm at the I can hit well, you can't see it too bad, but I can hit checkout, but it won't take me anywhere. So
I'm at review and place your order, and at the bottom it says place your order.
Yeah, so
we'll see.
Demon Soul coming.
Demon Soul launch day.
Launch day Demon Soul, which
$70.
Which if you you guys remember the PS3 and how poorly that did in the overall standings over the course of those consoles' life, maybe not the right choice to launch your PS5 with when everybody's going, I don't know if it's going to beat the Xbox this time. Just seems like a bad harbinger, you know what I mean?
I definitely own Demon Souls on the PlayStation 3, and
I broke a controller in half over that game.
Yeah. I can't.
That sounds like a very Erron thing to do.
I have tried each and every one of those. Like, this will be the one. This will be the one where I'm like, no.
Yeah. This time. This time.
This time will be it. I like everything about the aesthetic of Bloodborne, but I'm like, okay, well, fuck this. I'm done.
Yep. And finally, they revealed God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. After it was teased earlier in the day, big shout out to Stefan in our Discord who said, hey guys, look at Corey Balrog's tweets.
Yeah.
Read the first letter of each. Oh, Ragnarok is coming.
I don't like those kinds of like, hey, guess what game's coming? Like, yeah, we know. We fucking know.
You know it's coming. You talked about it literally at the end of your previous game. You said, spoiler.
Yeah.
Ragnarok is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's coming 2021.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising. I wouldn't have thought 2021 considering what kind of tease that was.
Hey, do you want a prediction right now?
Yeah.
That's not coming in 2021.
Yeah.
You'll find out more 2021.
You'll find out the first delay happens in 2021. Yeah.
And then they ended up with like a blog post telling everyone that, hey, also Spider-Man, Sackboy, and Horizon are all PlayStation 4 games as well.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. And I don't have the blog post to pull up. But
and they make it very unclear because I saw two different posts that said like if you get them digitally, they will upgrade to both versions of the PS5. If you have them disc only, but then I saw another one that just said disc only, and I'm unclear as to what that upgrade tree looks like.
Yeah. No, so in that blog post, they tried clarifying it and said, if you get the digital version, it'll play on both. If you get the disc version, it's only on the disc.
So
you pop the disc in, and you get just like the Xbox 360. You pop the disc in, and you'll get the.
So if you get Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, and you get a free upgrade to it.
So
do you have to get the deluxe edition to get the free upgrade, the $70 edition of Miles Morales?
I think this is a Control special edition type of thing going on right now. That's what I'm thinking there.
Because, like, if that's the case, if it's just a free upgrade, I'm buying the PlayStation 4 version and just getting the free PS5 upgrade. Yeah, but I don't know. That seems,
I'm seeing
it's going to be like, for a limited time, you get the free upgrade, and then, like, after 6 months, it's delisted from the PlayStation Store, like Mario.
Sure, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter, on Reddit, basically on all the online communities who are looking at the list of things that are coming out, and they're all kind of pointing at Destruction All Stars, and they're going, "I'm kind of interested in Destruction All Stars. Not $80. I'm not $70 interested."
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, because like we were talking about tax earlier too. It's like 11% here, so like that's gonna be like, I'm not gonna spend like almost $80 for that is the game. Every console launch has the, like, I wouldn't normally buy this, but it's the only thing that's there, so I can't just get Spider-Man and nothing else, so I have to get...
I guess I'm buying Pilot Wing 64, guys.
Ugh.
I'm getting... it's like, I'm getting Zelda and 1-2 Switch, I guess.
I guess I'm getting Red Steel.
Yeah, that's exactly when I got my Wii. It was, okay, I got Excite Truck...
which
Zelda.
wasn't horrible, by the way.
Excite Truck was cool, and it let you have custom music, which was for the Wii. That was, that was great.
Never been repeated by a Nintendo console since. PlayStation. So we're all trying to order, obviously, in our many different ways.
All of us.
Unfortunately, you just can't shove your money into the CD-ROM drive of your.
Listen, there's a hole in my computer right here. Just take it. That's how that's how a bank machine works.
That works. Right next to isn't it right next to like the coffee cup holder? Is that what?
The cup holder. Yeah.
So up until now, we only knew that Spider-Man was coming during launch, at launch, essentially. We know Ratchet and Clank is launch window, which obviously means like the first 3-4 months.
Yeah, I'm excited for Ratchet and Clank. That game looks beautiful.
But it's actually a pretty decent launch lineup. You have first party games, Demon's Souls.
It said that the Astro Boy thing, or the Astro Bot thing, is preloaded, so that's at least you're getting something.
At least you're getting something for free. Yeah. So you have that. You have Spider-Man. You have 2 Spider-Man games, actually. And then you have all those PS4 games that are showing up as well. I'd love for them to figure out a way to put PS5 games on there, PS3 games on there, but that ain't gonna happen. Into that special.
It will happen.
It will happen eventually.
Yeah, it's going to be like, but it'll be exactly like now, where it's like, you could just like download. If you're a member of PlayStation Plus Ultimate, you can download, whatever bullshit.
So what is this? So I was having this conversation on Twitter a little bit ago before we started. What does this mean for folks who are interested in the Xbox consoles as well? Because Xbox doesn't have any real exclusives.
So Xbox is out there having released a statement saying that the new Xbox experience is not one focused on not console exclusives. So I think they're really hoping that stuff like Cyberpunk is going to be what's going to push it.
They're 100% focusing on pushing Ultimate as much as they possibly can.
And Ultimate, totally.
Yeah,
but
which is great.
I don't know if that's enough, because like I have a friend who's like felt burned by the Xbox, its initial launch, and sort of its library, because it's like, I could get the Xbox and have just, really great versions of all of the like multi-platform stuff. But, he's a lot like me, where it's like Halo doesn't really do it for me. Gears of War doesn't do it for me. I'm a Forza guy. So like I'm super excited for any Forza game that shows up. But like that stuff is too far in between. But like on the PlayStation side, they've constantly got something that's only there, like, you know, that's like peppered throughout its life cycle. It's, you know, especially towards the end here, you know, you've got Spider-Man, you've got Tsushima, you've got multiple releases of Last of Us, and you're gonna have Final Fantasy. That pushed a lot of people over the edge. Like, well, that's the only way I can play Final Fantasy 16
Well, now in that
on a console.
stuff came out.
Yeah.
So I didn't include it. I didn't include it.
But that wording is.
Yeah.
So I didn't include it because it seems like it's very up in the air right now. It seemed originally like games like Final Fantasy 16 were going to be PS4 and PC.
Yeah.
Since then, with that and a couple of other games that were being labeled as that, statements have come out saying, "Oh, we didn't say anything about PC."
Yeah. No, it's
well,
Final
and now
Fantasy
apparently
Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC. There's no doubt. In my
yes,
mind.
well, and even the wording that came out for that afterwards, I guess I forget who it was that tweeted it out, but basically said, I think maybe it might have been Nibel or Shinobi. Hey guys, of course they're watching. But basically, the wording came out, says it's Final Fantasy 16 is launch exclusive on PS5. Console exclusive for like 6 months to a year or something.
But
the
problem with a lot
PC
of that
exclusive
stuff,
like 3 to 6 months or something. I forget.
Yeah, and the problem you're going to have with a lot of that is that that's going to be lost on a lot of people because all they're going to see is that trailer that says PlayStation 5 exclusive or console exclusive for Final Fantasy 16, and they're not going to be on Twitter seeing all of the subtle nuance of what that phrase means. They're just going to see that trailer and be like, well, then I guess my choice is made, and that's it. Like, they're only going to buy the one, and they've made their decision.
And apparently, I mean, with as rushed, it's so. I feel like this presentation was kind of rushed, right? After Microsoft went and kind of showed off all their stuff last week, through those leaks, kind of actually helped them get some good into the good graces with people, and they put out some good content last week. I think Sony sort of said, "Hey guys, we got to put something out ASAP and get ahead of the Microsoft pre-orders. Put this video together. What trailers? I mean, I'm sure." All these trailers, all this work was already ready to go for a presentation, probably right before Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. And then they probably just realized, guys, we got to get this ASAP. Throw some verbiage in there, like, is it exclusive? Sure, it's exclusive. Who knows? It's coming to PC. Sure, it's coming to PC. Who knows? Go ahead and do that. And I think there were, as we know, there have been a lot of mistakes in that. There were like 3 or 4 or 5 things that were in there that either weren't explained or wrong information or whatever. Yeah.
So
it seemed like there was some heavy ADR happening.
There was like the framing devices for each like trailer were virtually non-existent. In that
So anyway, to recap, we've got a new generation of consoles coming.
Baby.
They're launching in just under 2 months.
2 days of each other.
Within 2 days of each other, you're looking at 2 different SKUs for both consoles. You're looking at digital only editions of the new Xbox and the new PlayStation. The Xbox is launching at $299 American. The PlayStation is launching at $399, and then the disc versions of both, disc and more powerful versions of both, it seems like, are both launching at $499. So.
It's reasonable pricing all around.
It's reasonable pricing all around for a new console, and it feels very, very, very much like these are not the prices Sony was going to launch at.
No,
even though they said, we were eyeing this price early on.
They are full of shit.
Absolutely. I feel like I was expecting that discless version to be far more like less aggressive of a pricing. I was like, it's gonna be like $50 less. Right? I was expecting
$499 for the PlayStation Digital and $699 for the disc version.
Yeah,
I'm very glad that I'm wrong.
So
I was so sure that's what that was going to launch at.
The reason I felt $399 and $499 was that I think people are ready for $499 right now because phones and phone prices have gone up like crazy right now. These consoles are, in some cases, a third of the price of a phone at $499. So I thought, okay, $499, it's not out of the ballpark anymore because even kids are getting phones, that kind of stuff. So $499 is okay. But I felt like
the new iPad is $499.
Exactly.
So.
And I felt like Okay. I felt like there was a need for Sony to hit that $399 price point from 2013 when they launched the PlayStation 4. And I kind of think, like, in a weird way, you're going to be seeing this more often. Like, if the next consoles are, even crazier, I think you're going to be seeing them aim for whatever the top end price is as their lower price. But I feel like they really need to that PlayStation 4 pricing of that $399 at launch, knowing that there's still gonna be folks that consider that bottom end, and that $100 price difference is, I believe, it feels like they're really pushing you to get that digital version. They want you to think, oh crap, $100 for just a disc drive, is it really worth it? Maybe I'll just go for the digital version, because they want that digital sale. They want us to get rid of discs. So that they can get more money off of digital sales. There's less manufacturing. There's less, store shelves they have to worry about. Yada yada yada. They make more money off digital. So I think that $100 price difference for them was extremely key. If it launched at $499 and $599, $500-$600, I think that would have killed the PS5 initially. I think it would be, we only be talking Xbox right now. No matter what games came out, it would take a lot for us to, maybe if Detroit 2 came out, who knows? It would take a lot for us to be really hyped for the PS5. But that price point of a console that's essentially as powerful as the Xbox Series X, but $100 cheaper, because people are mostly going to be doing the same thing, which is getting stuff digitally. There'll be a few things they get on disc, but yeah. And Sony could very well just sell. Yeah. I mean, they have the USB drives and the USB slots in the back. They very well could just sell a Blu-ray drive and add on later on.
Like the HD DVD
for $150. Yeah, literally. Yeah. They'd be like, you know what? Fine. You want a DVD drive or a Blu-ray drive? Here it is. $199. Get this, and then you can play your old games. Yeah.
I wish the Series... it would just muddy the waters more, but I wish there was an in-between between the Series X, like the $300 one and the $500 one, because of the systems, the Xbox would be the one I'd be most likely to not need the disc drive for.
Sure, exactly.
But I don't want the Series X.
A Series M.
If I'm in for me personally, if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. So I want the Series X, but I could do without the disc drive in particular because of Game Pass and stuff and all that stuff.
It's an interesting mentality, because despite the fact that the PS3 didn't quote unquote win, it very much established itself in the minds of people that it was a cheaper alternative to a Blu-ray player at the time. And that carried over all the way through the PS4, and I bet that'll carry through the PS5. Well, people want the PlayStation with the disc drive because they want to watch the Blu-rays.
It's very funny that like the Xbox never really got it, because the One S was a fantastic gateway into 4K movies. I mean, like, I upgraded to the One S mostly because I'm a movie guy, and so it was a cheap way to get into 4K movies at the time, because if you wanted a player, it was I could pay the same amount but not have an Xbox attached to it. So I just wanted to look at the Xbox attached to it. So I did, and because now we're in an era of movies where what does it matter? Everyone's streaming everything. Like, I'm a dinosaur at this point with physical film media. I can't stream in 4K with any sort of success. So I want 4K. That's the only way I'm going to do it right now, is with my Xbox. And so I don't know. But nobody else is doing it. So nobody.
The Xbox. In 2 months we will be a full console generation out from the 360.
Yeah.
And people still talk about the HD DVD drive when they're talking about Xboxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're not getting away from that, regardless of how good their movie tech is.
Yeah. Because it's a really, really good 4K player. Yeah. But it doesn't fucking matter, because you're the losers that did the HD DVD drive that came with King Kong. I still have that thing. I still have that.
There you go.
HD drive.
That's one of the collector's items right there. It is something that you can show your
Put
family down the line. You get buried with it.
I could watch 300 and Perfect Storm.
It's like going to
And
it's like
and Kong. Yeah.
it's like going to your weird uncle's house and he's got a laser disc player.
I own one laser disc and it's signed by John Woo. That's my laser disc.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's worth having.
That's why it's the only reason I own it. Is because it's signed by John Woo.
There is one more piece of news.
Sure.
I'm including it here at the end because we finally talked about the console launches. Nintendo had an investors briefing and confirmed that they're in the works of a new console, and that when that console comes, that they are going to be still basing it around the creation of unique integrated hardware software products, so,
aka gimmicks, baby.
Yeah.
They basically said they're a successor to the Switch. And rumors put it at 2021, but there's literally nothing confirmed about that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Integrated software, hardware. It just makes it sound like, oh, you mean a video game system?
A video
operating
game
system?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
You mean a console that sits in here, and then you put a piece of software into it, and then you play the.
I think
software?
I think what they mean, because they start with the Wii and the DS. They kind of showed that on that slide, but it really means what's a cool. I don't want to call it a gimmick, but what's something that will set this apart other than just visuals.
Like the Wii U to the Switch is the one time where Nintendo was like, we had a good idea, we fucked it up, let's fix it, and then they did the Switch.
Yep.
I feel like they're gonna like, okay, we have a great idea with the Switch, let's fuck it up and ruin what we did there and not build upon it or anything, and we're just gonna try something completely fucking new.
I mean, that's Nintendo, baby.
Yeah, that's what you expect. Like,
I legit feel like they're gonna come out with, and I know we've talked about the next Nintendo console a million times. I legit feel like they're gonna come out with a box that doesn't have it's like a Switch and a dock integrated. It just works on a TV. You don't take it out. You can't carry it with you. And that's how you're able to.
You're describing.
It's literally it's a Wii.
You have described the console,
but you can connect your Switch to it and use your Switch as a second screen or stream, stream games to your Switch.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Also,
you can already do that.
You
can already do that with a couple of games, but I could kind of see that, and then you get that dual screen DS stuff going on, and
I mean,
I would like to see like the Switch go that direction and do like it's a clamshell Switch that has two screens.
Oh God, wouldn't that be dope?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what you're describing there, isn't that basically the holy grail of stream tech that they've been trying to do forever? Like that was Microsoft Glass, basically, right? They were like, you can stream your shit to a tablet and just sit there and play it, and then all you ever got were like, hey, you can poke the map in Fallout.
Yeah.
You can press the screen and bombs will drop in this mini game. Like,
it is definitely Nintendo wants that to be the next step of video games, of just like the perfected second screen situation, and
it backed me out. Damn it! This whole time I'm still fucking around on this.
You know what would be a cool implementation of that? If they stopped using proprietary bullshit and they let you connect your phone to a console as a controller.
You can do that. Remember PlayStation 4 had those like really stupid games that were like, these are like the four. Check out these 4 cool games that we have that are party games.
They made like 4 of them, and then fucking Jackbox is out there being like, we're doing it through the browser, and you can just use your phone to play our games as long as somebody owns it. Like,
you want to use your phone? You want to use your laptop? Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, because theoretically, like, because they have that PS4 link that you can play your and Xbox does that with computers, where it's like you can play your Xbox shit as long as you're in the same house as your system. You can play that over Wi-Fi if you want on your
PS4 as well, and then the original PS3, PS4 stuff was that way.
Like I have that PS4 link thing on my phone, and I try it every once in a while to see if it's gotten any better, and it's like nope, this still fucking sucks, huh? You can sync an Xbox Elite controller to your iPhone now, though, with iOS 14. But
that's true.
Whatever.
But
the biggest news was Super Mario Picross is coming to Switch Online.
There you go.
For the first time in America, you can play the Japanese Super Nintendo Picross.
Yep.
Featuring Wario. So that's how you know it's a good game. It's got Wario in it. And scat. You can get
scat.
Yeah.
Scat.
There is one final tidbit that I feel very important to bring up. I had to buy hair elastics for the first time in a couple of years. My hair is now finally long enough to tie.
Wow.
I have a little ponytail. It's like this long.
Look at that.
Man
Look at that.
Ponytail.
No, I go ponytail. Fuck that.
You go ponytail? Oh, that's dope. That's dope.
Because I wear bandanas, right? So the ponytail can just come right up through the back, and man bum would have a bandana just kind of sticking up like this. So
yeah, so you're a step away from being a professional wrestler. So
yeah, yeah, I am.
You've got the height. You've got the hair.
Scrat.
Yeah.
You just gotta get the muscle on, or the fat. I'm not picky.
Yeah.
Man, just like that. By the way, PS4 pre-orders are also out at Best Buy. Just says coming soon. I'm out of luck.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know how your journey is going over there.
More coming. They
more
said
coming,
more
guys.
on the
You're good.
22nd or something.
I
guess I'm just gonna play these.
I'm
just gonna play these PS5 games on my PS4, anyways. I guess.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to settle with playing Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man Miles Morales still.
Yeah.
Just on your PS4 Pro. So.
Well, gentlemen, PlayStation 5, we did it. We finally made it. We got all the information there. And everybody's happy. No issues whatsoever.
Nobody's upset. Nobody's angry.
No one's upset.
Everything smooth sailing from here on.
Jeff Grubb was right. Actually, I don't think Jeff Grubb was right about anything today. So that's good. We got him. We got him one time.
Yeah. I hope he heard that.
I hope he heard
you,
that.
Jeff. Why you get everything wrong?
Yeah, Jeff.
With that, we can find us at SideQuesting.
You scared the hell out of me on Twitter today.
Me?
Yes.
How?
I got home from work and I was sitting down and I was gonna eat my dinner.
Corey. Yeah.
And fucking I see Twitter and I was like, and it's like, oh, get ready for a hype episode of the SideQuest tonight as we go over the PS5 showcase. Join Double J, Scratty Bones, and myself as we're joined by none other than Jeff Keighley. I was like, oh my God.
You're like, I'm in the shower.
I was like, I gotta go buy some fucking booze to get through this, but
no, that fucking John backed out. And so I'm like, I'm going to stick it to John because I know how things work. A lot of times people will be like, oh, I can't do it. I'm like, all right, man. Well, Jeff Keighley's going to be on too, so don't worry. We got you covered. And they'll be like, what? Fuck it. Okay, I'm going to make this work. Let me reschedule. That's how it's happened in the past with other folks. So this time I'm like, fucking Jeff Keighley's going to be on. And I almost got you, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I freaked out. And then I saw the follow-up tweets where it's like, oh, Jeff Keighley's out. Let's see if we can get Shuhei Yoshida. I was like,
never replied back to me.
Never replied back. I was like, oh,
it's absolutely hilarious. If
that would have been great. Yeah,
just popped in the corner for a second.
Yeah,
I'm not the most professional of people.
Yeah,
like that's not my gimmick. I don't know if I should be on a show with either of those two people. Like Keighley would probably you know what? Shuhei Yoshida and Keighley would probably both take it in stride. Yeah. But in the back of their heads they're going, who is this fucking guy? Yeah. Like I should not be on a show with people that are that genuinely talented and motivated. Thank goodness
you're on the show with us. Yeah. I mean, really.
Yeah,
thanks
for that. Hey, no problem.
Thanks for that. Erron at Scratty Bones. Kelly, that's where you can find him all over the place. You can find me at Dali Domowski. JJ, tell us about Disney Compendium and
Disney
where we can find you.
The chronological look through Disney's animation studios films.
Yep.
Just released the 2-part episode of Song of the South.
I was on it.
Dali was on part 2, where I made him watch a absolutely just horribly racist film that he had never seen before.
Never seen it.
It was a treat. It was a treat to force him through that. And then the next week will be The Princess and the Frog, which is
nice.
The reason why we did Song of the South now, because Princess and the Frog is
Space Mountain.
Splash Mountain, which which is the Song of the South ride at Disneyland and Disney World. So
it's good to have context to build on.
Yes.
Yeah. So
did you ever have you ever done have you ever done a deep dive into the World War II propaganda style Disney cartoons?
We touched into them a lot when we were talking about the 40s movies, because that's the studio was in, and Song of the South came out at around that same time anyways, because during the early 40s, they come up, but I haven't done a episode dedicated to them, but I plan on it. But it requires a lot of work to make them, to give them the context necessary, which it's very hard. I have a box set that has all of them on it, and it's a hard watch, but interesting watch. So
like you watched, like there's a lot of the little ones that, like, you know, if people think about them, they you know, they can conjure the image a little bit in their mind. But there's the one where it's, you know, the Donald Duck.
Yeah, Donald Duck in Nutsy Land, which is him in a dream, and it's, you know, it's got him reading Mein Kampf and heiling Hitler while building bombs and stuff. And when you look at it out of context, it looks like, did Disney just make a Nazi cartoon? But
totally.
You know, it's making fun of the sort of indoctrination, but it's also being incredibly racist at the same time, because there's a lot of like Asian caricatures and stuff in a lot of the ones too, and there's a lot of just educational films that are just for the sake of being educational because the military was paying them. Yeah. So it's like teaching, like, and it gets a little racist sometimes in that sense too, because it's like trying to teach like South American people, like, you have to wash your hands after you use the bathroom in your cornfield, but also don't use the bathroom in your cornfield because then you just get sick by eating the corn. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Please stop this. But
it would be super interesting. Like there had to be a specific incident for that. You know what I mean? Like there had to have been like somebody said that happened and that caused it like a sickness or something like that. Yeah. So Disney made a cartoon. Like a real deep dive would probably be fascinating.
And during that time, almost everything that Disney was doing was being funded by the military. Yeah. So the United States government was paying Disney to like make weird cartoons and not a whole lot of theatrical stuff. So,
and I'm sure part of it was they were overthrowing governments and wanted the American people to not give a shit because they thought they were all dipshits.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, one day, that's my goal, is to do just like I did with Song of the South. I want to like dive into the history of it, that dark era of Disney. The 40s were a bad time for Disney because there was a union strike, there was World War II, and then you have, you know, the fallout of World War II where they didn't have any money because all their money was tied up overseas from their overseas money. So just a bad time for the studio all around. But yeah, DisneyCompendium.com. You can hear all about that kind of stuff.
DisneyCompendium.com. With that, we'll see you all on the next episode. It might be next Thursday. It might be this week again. Who the fuck knows? We don't know anymore. Just I'm sure when we do it, we'll catch up on
time now in this era of our country.
Hey, did you guys know the smog made it here?
Oh,
did it really?
Yeah, I was walking home from work and I was like, oh, did they lift the burning permit thing? I guess it's fall. Maybe they did it. And I looked up and the sky was hazy and I was like, man, it really smells like burning. And then I got home and it's like, oh no, it's the fires from the west coast of the state that have reached here.
I couldn't breathe outside walking to my office the other day. So that was great. That was a good day. So that's fun. Yeah, we've been trying to sign off on this episode for like 7 times.
Yeah, I've been intentionally bringing things up.
Yep, it's okay.
We made it over an hour and a half.
With that said, we'll talk about the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Next time.
Jesus Christ, that's right.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna try to I'm gonna start moving us back earlier into the week, so that way we're recording a little better. That's it. We'll see you. SideQuesting.com, the SideQuest. Bye, everybody. Love you. Bye. Bye, Corey. Bye, Jeff Keeley and Jeff Grubb.
And Shuhei.